Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Eye on Icon, where we go around the ecosystem and give you the latest and greatest news. And with me, as always, David. How are you, man?
That's right. I'm doing well, Fez. Thank you very much. How are you doing down under?
It's been a gloomy day all day, and in fact, we've been told not to head out this evening. It is going to be crazy rains, and yeah, apparently on the other side of Victoria in our state, it is flooding like crazy. Nothing over here. We've just had a steady drizzle for the last 24 hours.
We've actually had your floods on our news.
Oh, really?
Um, yeah. I think it's a good thing that we both live on other sides of the world to each other, because it kind of ensures that the podcast can always move forward. Because if one of us is flooding down, like, we can just
Something may happen to us, but the podcast will live on. Don't worry, everyone. Yes, good, good.
it's top tier insurance that you don't find in any other industry.
That's
So
right. That's why we have David here now. See, he cares. No, look, honestly, I don't watch news. I'm so oblivious to it. I didn't even realize until it came up in my Twitter thread, timeline. I was like, really? This is happening? I looked outside, not yet, but
Yes,
apparently.
you're not the only one. There's a lot of people who don't watch news and take it all from Twitter. I don't know if that's the smartest thing to do, but that's how you could live.
Yeah, true. But the news is always doom and gloom. At least in Twitter, I get the occasional educational content.
Yeah, and the giggle.
And the giggle, yes, definitely. So we're back, and today is going to be, as always, we're going to try and really compress the show. And who's sponsoring us this week?
I believe it is the Omm monks, the
Damn,
dedicated DAO members of the Omm finance platform. A little tidbit of news coming from Omm this week, and of course, we have our wheel of misfortune back that is turned into a wheel of fortune, meaning that we only have to spin it once
Oh, thank God.
to find the prize, and we're going to spin it again to find the winner. It might get awkward. My name's on there a couple of times. If I win today, we're going to spin again.
Oh, are we? Oh, you're giving up your prize. Okay. Oh, well, look, while we're here, let's just see what people are going to win.
Let's see what I might give away.
Ooh. Hey, Rage Pups.
A Monks collaboration with Rage Pups OG NFT. Just a bit of context on what we're doing right now. We're spinning a wheel full of NFTs from the Icon ecosystem. These have been purchased by the Omm monks, and they're giving them away to people who engage with Omm or have engaged with Omm in the past through either Twitter or Discord. And you can do it yourself by just getting online and engaging with them.
Do it.
You'll make it to the list, and you get free stuff. So today it's a Monks collaboration with Rage Pups OG, and I suppose the second spin is
Who'll win it? We'll
to
come
go
back to
find us
that.
the winner.
Let's
Oh, nice.
yeah, let's leave it in suspense. We know what you're going to win now. You know what we haven't done in a long time, David?
The meet up in Korea.
That's right, we haven't. So let's schedule that. But more importantly, markets. Let's look at
Indeed.
markets. But I like the way you think. Why not fly somewhere and do something that we haven't done in a while?
I had a dream last night that I missed my flight in Qatar for some reason, and it was horrendous. So when I woke up, I was quite happy that it all didn't really happen, but it might be an omen.
What do you mean didn't really happen? It pretty much happened, didn't it? Like,
Well, not this way.
oh God. Okay. No. Okay. Markets. Oof. What a day we chose to return back to markets. I've started right
My
off with the
goodness.
ICX chart. And I don't know, David, what has the Twitter sentiment been, the way you gauge markets?
Gauging markets is my thing by just looking at the way Twitter, users interact on Twitter. And when they get all snappy and bitey, it's usually not going very well. And when everyone's euphoric, it probably means that the line is green. At this point in time, people don't talk prices a lot, do they? I don't see it. People are talking build,
Yeah.
which is refreshing and exciting at the same time. I didn't realize that we dropped the way we dropped just now. You've zoomed out to make it all look even more impressive.
See, in the weekly time frame, it's nothing, guys. It's cool. Like
That's what you're doing, macro.
That's right. That's right. I couldn't talk to it, but no. Coming back to the 4 hours, you're right. I didn't realize. Just a word of caution, everyone. If you're leveraged up, if you're on balanced, if you're on Omm and you've borrowed and you're mining the Omm token or things like that, be careful. Make sure you're playing it completely safe, and also make sure if this just keeps going down, you're in a position to close your leverage positions in any way, shape, or form. So be safe out there.
Shall we have a look at the Bitcoin tether?
Yes, you're right. You know what
charts.
I've noticed? We're back to the old... Oh, ignore this trend line. I haven't looked at this. This is old news. So I did BTC. So if we look at BTC, it hasn't... What's happening to the alts, the way the alts are bleeding at the moment, it's not happening with BTC or ETH. In fact, this chart makes it look... I don't know, I have another chart on another browser and it's like really doom and gloom, these candles, but in this chart everything's surprisingly small. But ETH is holding steady and BTC at the moment is holding steady. It's not dropped like if you look at some of these other charts, Icon, Dart, Kusama, they're all having a drop. So it's not just Icon people, it's all alts are bleeding. It seems like the big two are holding steady at ETH at $1,287 and Bitcoin at $19,095.
And it's only a couple of years ago that we were all cheering on these prices. Will we ever go up again? Yeah. It's the big question that we don't have an answer to in this podcast because we don't care.
Yes, we don't know much about this stuff. So let's keep moving on. I think that's a good coverage about markets, but be safe out there, everyone. And if you're looking at this, like one of the big things people are... I have seen a little bit of this, David, actually, before we move on. Overall, well, I don't know what I'm doing here, but overall, everyone has kind of drawn these charts with the big squeeze of some kind, and they're proclaiming decision time. So people, obviously, when they see charts like this, they think, oh, yes, we're finally going up. Nope. That's not what they mean. What they mean is this sideways action that we've been experiencing. This entire piece is kind of called sideways chop.
Yeah.
We should be...
Well,
yeah.
In the TA episode, the interview that you did with the TA guys who do their analysis and post it in Icon Discord, I remember them mentioning, we'll post the video up in the little card thingy right now. I'm going to do that later, I promise. And there it is. What? It was the guys who said in November, it's going to be decision time.
Yes.
And that episode is from way back. That's like June or July, I think. And I remember they were like, November is decision time. And what you're saying now is that the data has consistently stuck to that. And people are now even more sure that that's going to happen in November. And then there's a lot of people saying, okay, well, decision time means we go down, right? Okay, well.
Yes, they don't. They're just saying that it's not decision time doesn't mean up. That's because we've all been going down for so long. When people say decision, it's more, it could keep dropping from here. But I mean, what do we know, in all honesty? Let's carry on. That's enough of markets. Now, David, should we tackle Hana first, or should we go through the news and then come back to Hana? Hana.
I want to tackle Hana first because Hana is making moves.
Making moves. Okay, so cool. I've got Hana, I've got my crypto setups tutorial wallet. Funny story, everyone. I loaded this wallet up. I haven't used it in a while. And instantly it told me I had like $500 worth of ICX there. I was like, holy crap, when did this happen? I quickly checked addresses. It's a random address I created for tutorials. It was on the Lisbon testnet. Anyway, okay.
We're all millionaires on the Lisbon testnet.
Damn, I was feeling good. Thought I found some spare change. But more importantly, so we've seen Hana. It's come out with a redesign. I've seen a few mixed reactions on Twitter. Should we talk about the design? I don't necessarily want to go into the design and the changes.
I want to talk about people
David.
Having an opinion, within 10 minutes of seeing a wallet, seeing a font, seeing a color, and then going, I hate it. And then maybe 1 week in, going on the Twitters and typing up, I really, really hate it. Give it a month, give it 2 months, use it. Learn where buttons are now, how functionalities work, like the amount of people that will probably change their mind once they've just gotten used to the new wallet. There's no need to go out and immediately start bashing something that a team has spent so much time working on, thinking about, developing. Just give it a month or two. See if you actually like it. The amount of functionality that is packed into this thing and the amount of stuff that's on its way, it's something we haven't even seen in the Icon ecosystem. So hold your horses is what I say, and just learn to work the wallet. You don't like purple? Oh, boo-hoo. It's going to be purple.
One of these days, we're going to have our cameras turned on soon. And these episodes, you're going to see us talk and you're going to see the reactions and be wildly entertained because in the background, there's a lot happening. We see each other and talk just to make sure, can see reactions and things like that. But what David has said is so true. And the reason why I wanted to, we talked about it earlier in the show and do a bit of a dedicated section to Hana is there's a lot happening with Hana and I don't feel the team have articulated the message well. And the reason for that is because they've just been in the background building and trying to hit deadlines. And recently, me and David have had a little bit of access to Reliant Node, talking to some of the team members, and they've given us more context and the vision of what they're trying to do. And this is why we're going to talk about it. And while the UI perspective, David makes all valid points, I want to step back a little bit, David, and talk about what they're trying to achieve here. So we always knew Icon X has gone the way of Dodo and Hana's going to replace it. Yeah. Now, what we also knew that right off the bat, you could create an Ethereum wallet and an Icon wallet. Now, what's cool about Hana is it supports Icon, which is a non-EVM chain, and then it supports Ethereum, which is an EVM chain, and Binance Smart Chain. And now it's got support for Polkadot, Kusama, which aren't EVM chains, okay? So just something to take note of. And then it's adding more compatibility. We know Near's around the corner and things like that. These are different chains altogether that need different infrastructure for the wallets to work. So what Hana's trying to do is not be the MetaMask, where MetaMask just supports all EVM chains. And how do you know that? Is when you set up your Ethereum wallet, it's the same address. That's why you can add all these different new EVM chains into MetaMask and it's compatible because it's the same address. The difference with Hana is if you've got a default Icon wallet and that's all you've set Hana up for, it gives you your seed phrase and that's how you restore that wallet. Now, for the same wallet, when you activate, and now this will show, dang it. Now, see, David, this is where, if you activate the chains, and I'm trying to show over here, we'll come back to it. So let me finish my tale. So with Hana,
were you just going to do a quick little tutorial?
Yes, I was.
You didn't know where to click.
Yes, I'm like but yes. So with Hana, like. When you create,
you should write a tweet about it. You should go on Twitter and write a tweet about it.
Yes. So you activate your Icon wallet, then you go and you create your Ethereum wallet. The Ethereum wallet has a completely different address, but it's still tied into that seed phrase, the original seed phrase you created for the Icon wallet. Then you go in and you keep activating Binance Smart Chain. Now the Binance Smart Chain may have the same address because it's the EVM chain. Then you activate Kusama, different address. It's the same kind of address and thing that you get for the Polkadot.js wallet. Like they're building it into Hana. Now you're starting to see what they're doing differently with the Hana wallet, right? So they may not at a whim have all the compatibility out to, for example, you can see right now, they've pushed an update and boom, we have SNOW and SNOW EVM. We'll come to that point in a moment. David may be able to explain it a bit better than me. But my point is, at the moment, oh, yes, here we go. I clicked on something and found it. All chains, the chains that you're connected to. As you keep building, as they keep integrating and working with partners, we should start to see a lot of the Polkadot ecosystem chains appear as compatibility in the wallet. Again, all tied to that one seed phrase. So when you restore it, it restores the icon wallet and any of the new chains that are compatible through Hana. Now, why have I taken the time to explain that, David? Why? Shall we dish some alpha? Yeah, I think we should. Yeah.
Go.
Okay. So just down here, you saw that now you can see that they've added SNOW and SNOW EVM. We'll touch on the SNOW and SNOW EVM, but Hana will now be able to, if the snapshot's been taken, right, for the SNOW airdrop, you will actually be able to, when it launches, just connect your Hana wallet. And as soon as you connect it, you'll again be able to just connect your Hana wallet to claim the airdrop through Hana, and it'll appear on your SNOW as the SNOW token will appear in Hana. So you don't need to anymore have Polkadot.js set up. I want to be very clear. We're talking about the airdrop, not the crowd loan contribution, which there may be alpha on that later. But right now, specifically the airdrop, you can check your balances. So when it's activated, you'll literally be able to go connect Hana. It'll tell you your balances, and then you can connect Hana again, and it will allow you to sign the transactions, and you'll get your airdrop straight into this wallet, which is the same seed phrase as your icon wallet, which is the same infrastructure, which is just beautiful. Oh my God. Okay, I'll stop there, David. You've been smiling and nodding too much. Thoughts?
It's a one-stop shop, and I love it.
Yeah.
I think what you made a point about the connected chains in Hana not being EVM compatible chains, and that's why you'll have different addresses for your Polkadot address, for your whatever future non-EVM chain is added. And when it's EVM compatible, they all have the same address. And this is also why you might think, hey, multi-chain wallets, there's already so many of them. I can maybe name 2, 3, or 4, and they all have their following, their user base. It's a thing, they're mobile compatible and whatnot. But if you actually have a look around at all these multi-chain wallets, you'll realize that, let me just make up a percentage, 85% of these wallets, they only have the EVM chains. And that's why they're a multi-chain wallet, like MetaMask. Like, they don't have Polkadot for you. They don't have the next chain that isn't EVM compatible. And that's why there's so many of them, because, big amount of teams must have realized, hey, we can also do this. We just maybe fork an open wallet and give it another color, maybe pick blue. But they don't have what's under the hood that Hana does have. Yeah. And so that's, that EVM compatibility that certain blockchains have, that SNOW will have, that allows for creating wallets that all, have the same token standard. And that's right now what we're going to see with the SNOW parachain. It is built, and this is just my basic understanding of the SNOW parachain, and I'm going to keep it very global in my explanation, because that way I also can make mistakes. This is what I understand. The language of the SNOW parachain, it's Polkadot substrate. The parachain is written with substrate framework. Like there's articles about that, the benefits of substrate and whatnot. So the SNOW token will have the substrate token standard, and that's all fine and great. What substrate framework-based blockchains have as a benefit is that they are EVM compatible. That means that this EVM standard that Ethereum pushes forward, they can handle it, but that doesn't mean that it's exactly the same. So if we have a dApp that is built for the substrate framework, it will probably be built in Ink, which is another language native to substrate. Then the tokens in that dApp would be the native substrate-based SNOW token that you can see in this wallet, which is the blue multicolored icon. That's your native substrate SNOW token. But if we are porting in an EVM compatible dApp that we forked from Ethereum and we want to run it on the SNOW blockchain, that is possible because it's EVM compatible. You can run that dApp, but you will also have to have the EVM version of the SNOW token and not the substrate version. So these two tokens will be interchangeable through Hana, I believe. Another functionality that is just right in your extension living there. And then when you're going to be using the EVM dApps, and I believe Everest Swap, which is the app that is going to launch a DEX on SNOW as soon as they can. See, that's a Uniswap 2 fork. It's a copy of the Uniswap decentralized exchange from Ethereum. So that's coming in, and that is benefiting from that EVM compatibility. It also means that the SNOW tokens that you will be using in that app will be the SNOW EVM version of the token. And that's the difference between the two. I think a lot of the dApps that will land on SNOW, especially in the beginning, will be EVM compatible dApps.
Definitely.
Because it's easier. You build in Solidity, you can copy big successful dApps from other blockchains. And I don't think a lot of dApps will be written in the substrate native language, which is Ink. But maybe moving forward, there will be. I don't know exactly. I haven't witnessed a lot of parachains from their genesis to to fully fledged ecosystems. Yeah. I think, just a fun fact, on Moonbeam, which is another parachain in the Polkadot ecosystem, I think they've completely switched off native dApps and tokens. They're like, yeah, we only do the EVM.
That was their pitch, right? So as we know, the parachain model, like their pitch was, we specialize in EVM. So they literally built their chain EVM. That's it.
Yeah.
But in all honesty, David, like until like 5 days ago, I've heard all these, oh yes, EVM, you know, we knew EWASM, this, that. I didn't realize what it meant from a wallet perspective and compatibility and having, I didn't know all of that. In fact, it's all been quite a realization for me as well. So in light of this and then finding out what Hana's doing, David explained it brilliantly. This is exactly how it will work. Now, if you're worried, oh, does that mean when SNOW comes across to EVM, it's being bridged via some kind of bridge, Icon bridge? No. Don't forget, this is at the chain level, so we don't have security. You don't have a security issue. Hana will just facilitate the transfer of the SNOW from the substrate chain to the EVM chain, let's say. It may be a bridging, but it's not like your traditional bridging where asset is locked. It's still secured by the same chain, validators, things like that. So there's nothing to worry about there. This is just standard process. The beauty of it is it will all happen within Hana itself, so you don't have to you can, if you want, set up MetaMask and do it and all that jazz, but you don't need to. If they're going to build it into Hana and you can use Hana, you can just have that as your default wallet. And no, Hana is not paying us to give them a solid plug this episode. It was more, I actually appreciate what they're doing after having a chat and realizing some of the hard work they're putting in. From the UI perspective, yep, you saw me get frustrated initially as well. The good thing is the team have quite said quite vocally they want feedback and they will implement and hear all kinds of feedback and make changes based on that. So, which is great to hear.
Yeah, and if you, as a user, want to switch chain and you cannot find the button or the menu where you need to do that, then that is wrong. But that doesn't mean that this wallet is irreparably broken. Yeah. That just means that the user feedback needs to be funneled to the developers so that they can put that button in your face when you need it to be in your face. And that's a process, right? So version 1 will never be as good as version 5.
No, and to this point, like, I went doing everything manually, but this is a button apparently. I didn't know this, and this is probably one of my peeves I was getting frustrated at, because every time I wanted the wallet address, I'd click on a million things, and then I'd forget how to get there. But you just got to click here, guys.
Your name. For the people who are listening and not watching, Fez just clicks the name of the wallet, and boom, all the addresses on these different chains pop up. And
as David was talking, one of the things I was flicking through, and you probably noticed, EVM EVM chains all have the same address. So you can see how the SNOW EVM address is the same as the Ethereum address. And I don't know why Binance Smart Chain hasn't loaded, even though it's activated, but it'll be the same as Binance Smart Chain's address as well, C24. So this was the point we were making, and you can see it in all its glory. So look, now we'll pause here. You've understood this. You know, we've told you a bit of alpha. Now for the crowd loan, if you're sitting there just like me going, oh, but I set up a Polkadot.js wallet and I contributed, and how do I... the team is aware of this. They are working. I don't know at the moment if it will be ready. It may or may not, but they are trying to enable where if you wanted to, you can restore the Polkadot.js seed phrase into Hana, and then, you know, that wallet is part of in Hana, and you can then use it to claim, etc., etc. There'll probably be an official announcement of that, so stay tuned. But either way, even if that isn't compatible because of the way Polkadot issue their seed phrase and things like that, you know, from an airdrop perspective, if you're like me, I have 10 different wallets. Do you know this, David? I apparently went on a wallet creating spree. I didn't even realize. So I have all these wallets, and for me to claim, it would be far easier in Hana. I switch to that wallet, click on the website, claim, and then it automatically attaches the new SNOW chain to that wallet, seed phrase, all that jazz, and it's on that wallet, done and dusted, rather than setting up another Polkadot.js wallet. Because, David, did you know this? When you claim your SNOW, if you decide to do this, if you have a few wallets and you decide you've loaded it, created a Polkadot.js wallet, and you connect your Hana wallet, it sees your snapshot, and you claim it in your Polkadot.js wallet. You load up your second icon wallet to claim. You can't claim it to the same address in your Polkadot.js wallet. You need to then set up another address for that airdrop. Do you have the time? I'm already struggling with my wallet situation, so I'd rather just have it, you know, in Hana. To me, that's when I heard this, I'm like, oh my God, this saves a lot of time and energy, and I don't need to reorganize my filing system. But yeah, enough about that. Thanks. Any questions, David?
Yeah. What about this this UI? Are they gonna what's up with that?
What's wrong with it? It's great. It's just you just gotta find it. You just gotta find yourself a little bit. Let's have a look. Validators. Oh, okay. So let's keep moving on. Okay, now if you didn't, you know what? I didn't even see this. I don't know. I hope everyone did. I don't even think we've retweeted it from Iron Icon, which is shame on us. Everest Bridge. So we know there's going to be an AMM when it launches. Icon Bridge is hard at work. In fact, I believe the progress report should have dropped on GitHub. We should have loaded that up, but that's okay. They're hard at work just making those changes and getting it right. But the Everest team, they're like, nah, can't wait. We want to be ready on launch day. And you cannot launch an AMM without a stable coin. Okay, apparently, I didn't know this. Again, that's one of the rules. You need to have a stable coin there. So they are creating their own bridge. It is a centralized bridge. So from that way, it's as safe as they've compared it to, you know, a centralized exchange of that nature. The goal is this is not going to be competing with Icon Bridge or BTP or anything like that. It is an interim solution to get things up and running. And as soon as the Icon Bridge is done, I'm not too clear on exactly how they're going to merge and do all of that, but I'm sure they've got a plan. And if you haven't read the article, that's basically what they're covering. The UI itself will enable the bridging from Icon to, if you want to bridge your BNUSD from Icon to SNOW, and you can add, I'm sure there'll be some kind of liquidity drive and other things like that as well. It will be called eBNUSD, and they explain it. Why is it called Everest? Because it's Everest BNUSD. Yep, makes sense. So simple. And of course, it's not just some new team that have come on to and said, hey, trust us with a centralized bridge. No, it is who is it? Who is it again? Stakey, of course, Stakey. And if you didn't know who they are, they have built Craft and continue to improve and keep building on Craft. So you've got a team that's been with Icon from day dot, trying to build, well, have been building. So from that perspective, they're fully doxed and nothing to worry about there. But again, the goal is Icon Bridge as when it's ready, and then yeah. So if people are wondering, but why isn't it? Icon Bridge hasn't kicked off. Completely agree. I think that way as well. But remember, in this they have full control, right? And that's what they're trying to say. They have full control, so they're feeling a bit more secured about how much gets moved across. They're not too worried about that. Versus the bridge, it is much bigger. Icon Bridge, it's much bigger a project, and there are audits happening at the moment, which is at the tail end of finishing, and a lot of stuff is coming through with those audits, and obviously the devs are fixing things because that's the point of it. So we wouldn't be able to go mass transfer a lot of money through the bridge until that audit is finished. It would be irresponsible for the foundation, Icon, the Snow teams to do that. So keep that in mind if you're wondering, but why aren't they pushing it and just doing it through Icon Bridge? It will happen, but yeah, a few things have to happen before that much amount of money can start moving across this bridge that anyone can kind of, integrate, use, manipulate if they were bad actors, Yeah. Anything else to add here, David?
No, this article is so fresh that I haven't actually had the time to read it top to bottom. So I was just listening to you break it down for me, and it was a good ride.
Okay, good.
Excellent. I share the same question immediately, like why not use Icon Bridge? Why build your own bridge? But you are right. Icon Bridge is Icon Bridge, which will then morph into BTP. That's a behemoth. It is indeed getting audited at the moment, meaning that it's under review, so certain changes cannot be made. And then this team wants to be agile, and they've built something that will bridge completely suited to their application only. So they're different things, really, and it's like an interim solution, because I suppose ideally for them, they want the Icon Bridge setup, security, and network effects that come with it with other blockchains, I'd say. So for them, it's just, I think they want to launch as soon as Snow does, and for them, it's just such an integral part of their product that they need to have this ready, that they've decided to, I don't want to call it a hack and slash solution, because surely it's not something that they slapped together, but it is a means to an end, this temporary Everest Bridge. So
agree. I don't know about this logo though, David. Must have a chat to the team about it. Okay.
Seems like, yeah.
Okay, let's move on.
For the viewers only.
Okay, what do we got? Roadmap update. This dropped literally as we recorded the last episode, so I thought we would cover it. I think me and David actually ran through quite a lot of the updates that they have covered. One thing I did like is now in the Omm docs, they're actually covering the P-reps that are validators, P-reps that are offering incentives for voting for them. I thought that was an interesting move overall though, but they do, so quite a few of them that are offering it, they've got it covered. So if you didn't know, I actually really like it, and I'll tell you why, David. So recently, I like to dabble in all ecosystems. Like I'm a bit of a rogue like that. I'll just start and after Korea Blockchain Week, everyone knows that I got a little bit close with Nia and Aurora, but so yes, I got all excited and I explored, and I've made a few videos, and I was checking out their dApps, but some of the basic things I don't do, which is, well, we know Nia's proof of stake. I didn't stake anything. So recently I've started to kind of explore that. Okay, going to stake. And as soon as I went to stake, I realized it's very difficult when you go into a new ecosystem. Like, you're in the same predicament. Who do I stake? Where do I issue my stake? Like, I literally put like a couple of Nia in there just for the experience. stepped away. 2 weeks later, looked, that validator was inactive. I was like, oh, crap. Okay, so I got to do a little more research. And that it made me reflect going, you know what? People may come into Icon having the same feeling. But overall, I found Icon has presented, if you go looking, we should make it a lot better, a lot easier for people to find. But if you go looking, you can actually find a decent amount of information about a lot of the validators. So on other chains, then I've defaulted to going for, I believe, who is it? Who are the people, Everest, who do the threads for Icon? Everstake? Or...
it's Everstake Validator.
Yeah. So I actually now have defaulted to finding their nodes because I know they do this for Icon. I'm like, well, if they're running a node, I'll support them on the other chain as well. But overall, it's quite a difficult experience to understand what's going on. But what I did find on Nia, and I shared it with David, was, at the moment, a lot of the proof of stakes, they work, the validators just take a percentage as a fee. So you go and stake, so there's no rewards for them. They set their rewards by setting a commission. So some of them will do 2%, some of them who are trying to win votes will take 0% and just imagine they're giving it all up for free. Others will say 10%, etc. like that. That's how those ecosystems work. However, Nia and their team have done a ton of work to enable validators, if they choose, to set a high commission and then dish a percentage, or so say if the validator takes 50% commission and issue another token as a reward. Let that sink in for a bit. They are actually building contracts that enable their node, the validators, to deploy this functionality so that the validators can then distribute other tokens on top if they so choose, which is something that we've seen happening a lot more now in Icon, but always had the ability because of the nature of our, the way the validators are set up. But I guess what I'm getting at is, like, other ecosystems have seen themselves and thought, oh, this is a cool model, we need to build that in. We've literally got that, and we're seeing the validators do that, and there's still a lot of old school out there, oh no, we shouldn't. But actually, it's a fantastic way to launch a product, a token, and back it by validator fees and etc., which is it's a cool and different use case. So anyway, rant over. I just thought I was comparing, as I discovered, I was like, this is pretty cool. They're actually spending a lot of money to enable this. We have this enabled in Icon. We should be utilizing it a lot more. So I love how Omm have kind of highlighted that these are your validators that are incentivizing in different ways, and they cover exactly what they incentivize. I'll shut up now, David.
Omm has pushed this information forward because, as we all know, if you lock your Omm and stake it in their platform, you get voting power for validators. So you can go... Yeah.
Can you believe it at the moment? It's dishing out 2.02 ICX of voting power per 1 Omm.
Yeah, and 1 Omm is 1 Omm that is locked for 4 years, is it? Or 10 Omm or 100 Omm?
It's something. I gotta go look at that. But it's still way better. At 1.3 cents.
You could just stake your ICX the old school way through Hana Wallet, pick a validator, and you receive about a 7% staking fee from interest rate from the network. You could also buy Omm, which is a lot cheaper, lock it up for a certain amount of time, and then that will equate to ICX and give you voting power as well. This is a trick that you can do to get these incentives that certain validators are offering, because you could spend less money on buying more Omm. You could lock it up for a year, vote for a certain validator, and start earning their reward incentives. So that's a little trick in the Icon ecosystem. One other announcement that they made is their updates to the mobile version of the website, and we just took 2 screenshots to show you the difference, and I'll explain it as well. In the old version, some information was just being dropped in favor of a better UI, user interface. This is the old version that we're looking at now, and if you look at the markets, it'll just tell you what markets are available. In the new version, they are able to piece in more information in a user-friendly way. So right now in the new version, they're going to show you the market, but they're also going to be able to show you the same data as desktop would show you, which is the amount supplied, the supply APY, the borrow APR. And this is the main difference that I found just quickly looking at the new mobile version versus the old one. There might be more, but the main thing is that they've managed to get more information shown in the mobile screen that they were previously omitting in favor of user interface. So that's that, and that covers Omm, I guess.
So let's spin the wheel. Let's see who
let's
wins.
do it.
Yeah. Okay.
So this is for the NFT, the Omm Monks collaboration with the Rage Pups OG.
That's right. David, you can do the honor.
Oh well, the wheel's spinning. I'm not sure how much seconds spin you selected, but I think we have a winner right now. It's James P100. Congratulations, James.
Well done, man. You did it. Okay. That's it. Thank you, Monks, for letting us dish out prizes. I mean, how cool is this? They sponsor us, and on top of it, let us give prizes out on the show.
We come out as the good guys all around.
Exactly. So thank you. Yeah.
Thank you.
That's why they're called the monks. See?
Yeah.
So many deep levels. Okay. Next up, let's keep moving. Craft. The floor sweep. So we talked about this feature. Floor sweeps are live now on Craft Network, and so according to this tweet, you can buy multiple floor price NFTs from any collection in a single transaction. Do you want to? What does it mean? I don't get it. But I want you to explain it.
Okay, so NFT collections will mint. There might be hype, and after they've all been minted, they will make their way to the secondary market. And just like token prices, NFTs are kind of valued at the cheapest one on the market. So often when you go to an NFT marketplace like Craft, you'll look at a certain collection, and I think by default they are already sorted, showing the lowest price first. So whoever posts the lowest price for that NFT in the collection will be listed first, and if any new person or new user would come in looking to buy, they will tend to buy the cheapest one to get into the collection. Now, what you can do, you can also enter a collection by buying a couple. And if you go in and you say, hey, you know what, I'm going to buy the cheapest 2, 3, 4, or 5, that is considered sweeping the floor. So you're basically grabbing the cheapest NFTs that are listed at what they call floor prices. The floor price is essentially the lowest price. And Craft has now enabled a functionality where you can do that within one transaction. So they've made sweeping the floor easy, because in the little image that we're looking at now, this is a tweet by Craft, we're looking at the Tamashi collection. This is probably the most valuable collection. I think it is, by all means, per individual asset, the Tamashi collection is the most valuable collection in Icon. We see that the floor prices range from 5.6K to 8.75K, and this is the first 3 Tamashi. And what we're seeing is, if you want to sweep the Tamashi floor, you can do so. You can just enter the amount of NFTs that you want to purchase. It'll list the value of the cheapest ones. It'll also tell you what you're pumping the floor price by. So if you are sweeping the floor, you have a wallet full of NFTs now, but you've also pumped the floor price, obviously, because you've bought the cheapest, so you only have more expensive one listed. So it's kind of like a double there. The functionality is very handy if you want to make large purchases, because buying 3 floor price Tamashi is something that I could also do manually. It wouldn't take too long. But there is also this instance where you might want to buy 50 or 100 floor price NFTs from a big collection. And that's when sweeping the floor functionality comes in very handy.
Indeed, and that is a great summary. And did you know it's Studio Mirai month? Like there's a whole thing. Just we haven't covered it. You know, we need to get Kotaro on to talk about what's going on. I'm out of the loop, but I'm super excited all the stuff they got going on. But did you know, David, that I've seen someone utilize this feature recently, and of all the people, it happens to be the Claws team. And you know how I feel about Claws. I don't have a feeling towards it, but. What they did do was they swept the floor and they picked up 38 of their own. The team did this. And then they said the purpose was they will use these 38 to give away in competitions, prizes, whatever it may be. I thought that was cool. I thought, okay, good way to use the feature in your own collection and then give it back to the community in different ways. I haven't seen those ways yet, but that's what they tweeted about. I thought it was a cool use of feature. So as David explained, 3 may be simple, but 30, 40, sweeping the floor comes in handy.
Yeah. I think if you go to the next tab, they've launched this craft bot sweep, and it only has 44 followers, which I think is crazy low if you look at what it does. It reports on sweeps, and it'll tell you, in this case, who buys. So I knew this as well because I had the tweet in my timeline. So the Claws team bought 38 NFTs from their own collection for they paid about 3,000 ICX for it. It resulted in a floor price increase of 46%, and then it also awards you kind of like a level of your sweep. So this was a straight up Chad move, but if you scroll down, you'll find that other floor sweeps have had less of a impact on the price, and then they would call it just a casual sweep or whatever you can find. So you can kind of get like,
oh, this is great. Yeah, and who's built this? Paul, right? Our famous MTP.
The founder and architect of the meme transmission protocol, Paul Rouge, gifted this bot to the Craft DAO. So yeah, he built that, and it works. And it makes me think, like, yes, if ever I sweep a floor, I'm definitely going to screenshot that tweet and hold on to that as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, in terms of the Claws team sweeping their own floor, mixed feelings. I like it because it shows conviction or dedication by the team for the project. On the other side, you could also say, hold up, you've just sold 10k NFTs at like 200 ICX a pop, bagged all the ICX, the NFT prices went to crumbles, and now you're buying them back for low. Like, what's that about?
Yes, I guess there are two sides. I just, yeah.
It makes sense in the narrative, of course, is that they're doing their research, or they've already announced that they're going to be partnering with a GameFi dApp on Avalanche, and we're going to be able to transfer our claws over to Avalanche, and they will mutate, and they will. This thing seems to be happening. I believe it, right? And in that light, if they foresee price increase because they're finally going to add utility to these NFTs, it only makes sense to sweep the floor so that when they're worth more, that you can dish them out in like fun competitions and events. So for the team in their marketing plan, it would only make sense, of course. But if you're an outsider just looking at it, you could have mixed feelings. You could think like, okay, if I don't know the whole value add, then it just looks a bit weird.
Well, I didn't even know there was an integration to Avalanche. That's what I find interesting. But that's not alpha. That's just haven't heard.
That's anything in their Discord.
Is it? Oh, they all.
Yeah. They released. They're doing updates now as well. They weren't doing that before, and people were complaining in the Claws Discord that, hey, you need to be more transparent. Keep us updated what you're doing. They said, yeah, but we're in all these talks and we can't be publishing these talks because that would damage the talks. Anyway, they found a way to give updates anyways, and they're doing so now. So they've been giving updates, and that was the last release, and it's exciting. Yeah, Avalanche, let's do it.
Yeah, no, cool. Okay, then look, let's close this out. The last final update. quickly. Look, Gangstabet's got a ton of stuff, but I don't know. Did you take part? Did you go and see the world map?
I went into the Emerald City.
Yep, me too.
And the
I shot a video.
experience. Yeah, you did.
Yeah. I just forgot that I shot a video, and I didn't realize there was a comp going on. So I was like, oh, maybe Iron Icon should enter it.
Oh, let's do it.
Okay,
I didn't record anything. I went in and I had, you know how these like small cap scammy tokens have like this launch, and then the price goes all the way up, and then within weeks, like it just bottoms down, and it's just flat lines.
Yeah.
That was my excitement graph for the Emerald City. And I'm not hating. I'm just, because they've limited what you could do. Yeah. When I entered, I was like super pumped. I even did 2 screenshots on the Ion Icon Twitter. You know how they had legacy tweets pop up. They had some stats, like
that was cool.
The music, like I was like, oh, it's happening. And then like it opened up for me, and I could see the city, and I could see little things happening left and right, and I was so excited. And I clicked them, and I tried to zoom in, and then that's as far as they were going to let you go, right?
Yes.
So then I quickly realized after about like 5 minutes, like this is it for us now. Like this is all we're getting.
Yeah.
And I don't know, maybe I had expected more, maybe I didn't know what to expect, but my interest is piqued, to say the least, and I'm very excited to get in there. And this was a little proof of concept, so well done to them. I didn't stay longer than 5 minutes, and you know that was what that was for me.
Yeah, I think I had a very similar experience, and kept clicking buttons going, oh, come on, but you got a sneak peek. We got a sneak peek, which is good to see. I know since then they've followed up another game. There's a few things happening, and sometimes, again, I come back to, if you're not following in Discord, it can get quite hard to keep up. Luckily for us, David, we had a chat last week, and I just said, oh, they used to sponsor. The man himself reached out to me. Fez, how you going? This, that, what's this about a sponsor? He was surprised I didn't reach back when the sponsorship ended. They're keen to sponsor again. So thank you, Gangstabet and team. So we're in the background working through that. But at the same time, and this is why I feel people don't reach out to me anymore, David. They reach out for other things, and I'm like, yeah, so when are you coming on Iron Icon? Because, you know, there needs to be an update. And then all of a sudden there's silence. But no, he admitted, he said he will come on the show to time and place. So I just need to get things organized and get him on the show, and have a chat of everything that's happened, kind of where we've grown to. I want him to give an exact overview of what is now in the game with the gangsters, the civilians, the golden keys, the properties, the bank, the Forex. Oh my God, it just keeps going, you know, kind of concise and things. So someone new listening will be able to go, okay, yep, I get all the parts. I understand what's free to play versus what's going to be on chain, etc., etc. Oh, I've got it all mapped out in my brain, David. So we need to get him on the show. And
definitely. Yeah, I would love that.
Cool.
Can I attend?
Dude, look, the only reason why David isn't in on these interviews is it's my evening, his morning. My morning, his AM. So it's very hard to schedule. And so we're on time zones apart. And then everyone else is in this middle time zone where I can only catch them in the morning or really late at night, my time. So these timings don't line up. Hence, I tend to be the only one then doing the interviews. But let's try and schedule this together. I think all our time zones should line up in the evening. Yeah.
Lovely.
Okay. Every day we start this, every week we say, oh, this is going to be a compact show, and we're close to an hour. So as always, Monks, thank you for sponsoring the show. Without you, I don't know how motivated I would be, David would be. You make this show worth it. The second thing is like, share, subscribe, everyone. The subscribe count is going up. I know people like this show now. I think after close to 2 years, I feel maybe we do have a following, David, because we didn't release a show for 3 weeks. And when we released it in a bear market, we got a lot of views. In a bear market, I have to say, okay? Because in a bear market, you don't get views on anything. But we got views. People, it seemed were happy that we were back. And let's not go on such a long break again. So we're back, and finally, David, not financial advice. Everyone remember that. Do your own research. We're just a couple of guys excited.
Up to no good.
Yeah. Finish it. No. Yeah. Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
Bye, David. Bye, all.